Finally this week, Piquet, Prost and Senna. These are some famous names when it comes to the world of Formula One racing and, as it happens, Formula E racing. Listen to that. That is the sound of some of the nephews and sons from those families now driving in this altogether very different league, electric cars, hence the E. So, as you hear, no roar of the engine, just the squeal of tyres. Formula E's coming to the end of its first season and it's been drawing in the crowds with its more family-friendly style. Plus, it's working on the principle of being more sustainable, both environmentally and economically. The final race of the season happens in London. That is where Alejandro Agag is for us now. He is the CEO of Formula E. It's lovely to have you on the show, Alejandro. You have spent, I believe, around $100 million on trying to get all this off the ground. Would you deem it a success? Has it exceeded your expectations? Has it reached expectations? How's it gone for you?
Yes, I think we definitely succeeded or exceeded expectations. This was a really challenging project to put together. There were no electric racing cars in the world. There were no cities that were going to host these races. We had to put everything together in a period of 2 years, and now we come to London, the final of the championship, after races in Beijing, in LA, in Miami, in Monaco, and you know, with a very good championship going on, so we're very happy.
I must say it interests me, and I'm not someone, you know, I mean, I know a bit about Formula One racing, but I'm not a fan. But this idea of Formula E does interest me, the type of event where I think, well, you know, if I was in London, maybe I might go and see that. And I wonder if this is part of the success, Alejandro, that you can get people interested because it's different, because it's environmentally friendly, because it's more accessible to people.
Yes, it's basically a radically different kind of race. We race with electricity, which is clean. This is a non-polluting motorsport, which is the first time ever. And also we race in the center of the cities. We bring the show to the people. In London, we're going to have over 60,000 people coming to the race, downtown London. So that's really a first, and that's what people like.
Cool. On a slightly more capitalist note, are you making any money from it yet?
Well, we're actually on a really good way to make money. This is obviously a commercial enterprise, even if it has this sustainable aspect. Obviously, we're not a charity. We have big investment funds behind us. We have our major shareholder, Liberty Global and Discovery Communications, which is the major cable company in the world. And of course, they want to return on their capital. But we are in a good way to make that happen. And sponsors are very attracted to this concept because it's sustainable. And big corporations all over the world are now also fighting for the green agenda.
Okay, so inevitably we get to some sorts of comparisons between Formula E and Formula One, but as you've described it to us here, they are very different products. Now, I was going to ask you if there was something from your success in Formula E which you think could be applied to Formula One, but you know, I'm starting to think that actually the products are so different that they may not come together like that.
Products are very different. We don't compete with Formula One. We think we are quite compatible because we race in different places with different technology. But, for example, we give a great access to social media. Our fans can vote for their favorite driver, and the 3 drivers who get more votes get an additional boost of energy during the race. So fans can actually have an interaction, an effect on the result of a race, of a sport. I think social media is something that everybody needs to open to, and Formula One, I think, it's on the right direction on that. They have just started, but I think that's one thing that we could do very similarly.
Yeah, thing with Formula One is that they're losing audiences, and it's become, I don't want to quite say a monopoly, but it's perhaps become a bit, what's the word, stagnant, a bit predictable for the teams and for the fans. I wonder what else could be done aside from, you know, injections of cash or changes in management structure and these sorts of things. What could be done to revitalize the sport based on what you've done with Formula E? Well,
really, it's not easy for me to criticize Formula One. I was involved with that world. I had my own GP2 team, actually with a Qatari partner, with a Barwa company for many years, and I was in the world of Formula One, let's say. But definitely, they've been there for a long time, and you know, when things are there for a long time, they get a little bit repetitive. But I think, you know, I think it's an amazing franchise, a great brand. Formula E just wants to do things differently, and you know, for example, the level of noise we have, the level of sound, obviously, of electric cars is lower. So we're really good for families with children, for example, which, you know, is a bit more difficult when you have a high level of sound. So, you know, they're 2 completely different products, but I wouldn't want to give any lessons to Formula One. You know, I think I think it's a great franchise.
No, you make a good point about the sound. Actually, I used to live in Melbourne. I remember I couldn't believe how far away from Albert Park you could actually hear the sound of those Formula One cars. It was extraordinary. Anyway, you mentioned you had a Qatari sponsor in your previous motor racing existence. What did you make of the news that came out this past week about the joint US-Qatari consortium wanting to, take $1 billion stake in Formula One? It's pretty interesting.
It's very interesting. I saw that in the press yesterday in Financial Times. There has been a few times already rumors of a potential Qatari interest in acquiring Formula One. I think Formula One is definitely a good investment, and definitely the Qatari Investment Authority and the different groups are very smart investors. So it could make sense, but obviously if they finally buy it, they will have obviously a big task ahead of them to push it ahead and to really come to the new generation of fans. So it's at the same time a great opportunity, but a great challenge.
Just finally, Alejandro, the technology that you're putting into the cars for Formula E, tell me about how that could feed back into the electric car automotive industry. It seems that the holy grail for that is to make it truly sustainable so that cars have proper range. You would never have to fear about running out of battery. Is there something coming from the Formula E technology which can go back into electric cars?
Well, you're touching exactly the most important element, which is battery. And what we want to do in Formula E is to be the place where all these new technologies, new battery technologies, new electric motor technologies, new fast charging technologies are tested, are developed, and then are implemented on the road cars. Motorsport has played this role before. From Formula One, you have even the rear view mirror, the carbon injection, the fuel injection, carbon brakes. So Formula E wants to play the same role on electric cars. Battery is the name of the game. If we achieve to multiply by 5 or by 10 the energy that you can store in a given battery, basically everybody will drive electric cars.
Maybe one day. Alejandro Agag from Formula E. Really interesting talking to you. Thank you.